It began in near silence, the kind that feels too still for a life once lived in the spotlight. Inside a modest California home, the echoes of applause had faded long ago. The walls were lined with photographs, a dazzling young woman frozen in time, her laughter immortalized in black and white. Once that woman had danced beside Elvis Presley, charmed millions across America, and embodied the beauty and charisma of an era that never truly faded. Her name was Lisa Gaye, an actress, a dancer, and a dreamer, whose grace endured long after Hollywood's lights dimmed. Behind the calm of her later years lay a story of devotion, heartbreak, and elegance. The portrait of a woman who loved deeply, performed passionately, and carried herself with quiet strength, even when fame drifted away. Lisa's story began far from the glamour of studio lots in Denver, Colorado. On March 6, 1935, born Leslie Gaye Griffin, she seemed destined for the stage from the moment she entered the world. Talent was woven into her family's DNA. Her sisters, Deborah Paget and Tila Loring, would go on to become actresses, while her mother, Margaret Gibson, pushed her daughters to chase the kind of dreams that filled movie screens. When Lisa was still a little girl, the family packed up and moved to Los Angeles, a city that shimmered with opportunity and heartbreak in equal measure. There, beneath the palm trees and marquee lights, Lisa's beauty was impossible to overlook. She had a calm poise and luminous presence that made people stop and stare, but beyond that, she possessed a hunger, a determination to be more than just another pretty face. She wanted to move audiences, to make them feel something real. As a teenager, she trained rigorously in both dance and drama, pouring every ounce of her time into rehearsals. While most girls her age spent evenings at school dances, Lisa spent hers in front of mirrors, perfecting every step, every line, every look. Hollywood wasn't kind to dreamers. Rejection was constant, but Lisa refused to let it break her spirit. She understood early on that persistence was the only path forward. That unshakable resolve paid off when, at just 17, she signed a contract with Universal Pictures. Suddenly, the girl who had once practiced in her bedroom was part of Hollywood's golden machinery, surrounded by lights, cameras, and endless possibility. Her first film appearances were small, but she had a magnetism that even bit parts couldn't hide. The camera adored her, that rare combination of innocence and allure that the 1950s adored. Soon she began landing roles in vibrant music-filled films like Rock Around the Clock and Shake, Rattle and Rock, movies that captured the electric pulse of a new generation discovering rock and roll. Lisa brought energy, warmth, and charisma to every frame. Her movements weren't just choreography, they were rhythm brought to life. The spirit of youth captured on film, but it was her role in Loving You that cemented her legacy. Starring opposite Elvis Presley himself, Lisa became part of movie history. Their on-screen chemistry was undeniable. She was the elegant brunette who seemed to bring out the softer side of the king of rock and roll. Fans were captivated, and critics couldn't ignore her natural glow. Yet, even at the height of attention, Lisa never chased the chaos of celebrity. She carried herself with quiet dignity, uninterested in the scandals that often swallowed others whole. Away from the screen, her life followed a different rhythm. She married businessman Bentley C., a man from outside the entertainment world who offered her something rare in Hollywood: stability. For a while, it seemed like she had found her peace, balancing her thriving career with a happy family life. But tragedy struck far too soon. Bentley passed away young, leaving Lisa widowed and heartbroken, with a daughter to raise alone. That loss forever changed her. Behind her radiant smile, there was now a tenderness, a trace of sorrow that deepened her performances and gave them an almost poetic melancholy. Through the 1960s, Lisa found a new home on television. She became one of the most recognizable guest stars of the decade, appearing in beloved shows like Perry Mason's 77 Sunset Strip, Hawaiian Eye, and the Beverly Hillbillies. No matter the role, whether she played a flirtatious singer or a loyal confidant, Lisa brought a spark that made every appearance memorable. Her presence was so natural, so commanding, that she could light up a scene without uttering a single line. Yet, beneath her polished charm, she began to sense the industry shifting. The studio system that had built her career was fading, replaced by a new generation of stars who didn't play by the same rules. For actresses known for grace and refinement, the changing tides were merciless. By the early 1970s, Lisa's appearances grew less frequent. She chose to retreat from the glare of fame and focus on her family. Hollywood might have forgotten her, but those who worked beside her never did. They spoke of her kindness, her professionalism, her gentle humor, the qualities that made her beloved not just as a performer, but as a person. In a world fueled by ego, Lisa remained humble, grounded, and kind-hearted. As the years passed, she occasionally appeared at classic film events, smiling softly as lifelong fans approached her with admiration. Even in her later years, when illness began to quiet her once bright energy, she never lost that refined beauty. Her radiance evolved into something gentler, less cinematic, more soulful. When Lisa Gaye passed away in 2016 at the age of 81, the world barely noticed. There were no front-page headlines, no breaking news alerts. But those who remembered her felt the loss deeply, the end of a golden era embodied in one remarkable woman. Today, when you look at her photographs, the playful smiles, the elegant poses, the moments between takes, you can still feel her presence. There's a timeless glow in her gaze, a mix of mystery and sincerity that no camera trick could replicate. She was more than just another face of 1950s Hollywood glamour. She was a performer who turned simplicity into art and pain into poise. Lisa Gaye's life reminds us that while fame fades, grace endures. Her journey from a determined little girl in Colorado to a Hollywood leading lady, through love, loss, and quiet courage, remains a story of resilience and artistry. She may not have shouted her struggles to the world, but they live on in her work, in her expressions, in every frame that captured her spirit. Like the closing shot of a classic film, her story lingers soft, glowing. Eternal. If Lisa Gaye's story touched your heart, take a moment to honor her memory. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with someone who loves classic Hollywood as much as you do. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of the stars who defined an era, their beauty, their brilliance, and the legacy that time could never erase.